Some children feel the most love when they receive thoughtful gifts. Gifts can be as simple as a special rock from a walk, a handmade bracelet, or even sharing a bite of your cookie. Hello and welcome back to Demystifying Child's Play. I'm Ruth, and today we're diving into play schemas and the love language of gifts. We'll be exploring how children's natural play tendencies reveal their learning and developmental needs, and how we, as parents, can use the love language of gift in a meaningful way without turning it into endless toy shopping sprees. I'll also be sharing some practical ways to combine the love language of gifts with the 10 play schemas, helping you make gift giving a powerful way to connect with your child. Plus, if you want some more ideas to connect with your child, you can head over to Instagram and follow me on @play_schemas, or check out the show notes at playschemas.com. That's play, SCHEMAS.com. So let's get comfortable, whether you're out on a walk, catching a rare moment of quiet, or multitasking around the house. Let's dive in and explore the fourth of 5 love languages, gifts, and how we can incorporate it into our everyday play. And as I said in previous episodes, this series is based on the 5 love languages of children by Gary Chapman, which I do highly recommend you still get your hands on if you haven't. But also, if you can wait till the end of the series, which is getting very close, everyone on my mailing list will be in the draw to win a copy. No matter where in the world you are, as long as you can get post to your house, you can be in to win. So head on to playschemas.com, really easy there to join the mailing list before the end of March 2025. And if it's after then, join it anyway. The mailing list is going to start coming up and there'll be a lot more on it, which is very exciting. Okay, so if you have ever watched your child play and thought, why are they doing that again? Stacking blocks in a straight line, spinning wheels for what feels like hours, wrapping every toy in a blanket, congratulations, you witnessed a play schema in action. Play schemas are those patterns of repeated behaviours that help children make sense of their world. They're instinctive, and each schema supports different areas of development. When we understand these schemas, we can provide better play opportunities and reduce frustrations, both for us and our little ones. There are 10 common play schemas, and I'll walk through each of these ones today very soon. But first, let's talk about gifts. Okay, according to the 5 love languages of children by Gary Chapman, some children feel the most love when they receive thoughtful gifts. Gifts can be as simple as a special rock from a walk, a handmade bracelet, or even sharing a bite of your cookie. One thing I've realised with my youngest is he's quite a gifty one as well as my older one, but of course he's 1.5. How can a 1.5-year-old have things to give? But for him, something he's noticed that I always give him food, and he loves his food, and so he started giving me food back, which is really amazing. At first I was saying, no, it's yours, you can have it, I don't need it, you can have it. And sometimes he gives it to me and I do sneak it back on his plate. But seeing his face, we were having some quiche this afternoon, and I cut it into little squares for him, and he took one, and before he ate his, he gave me one so I could have that. And he waited for me to eat it, and he had such joy on his face. And then the other day, he's had hand, foot, and mouth, if you're listening to it. So recently he had that, and he went into the cupboard and saw our super wine biscuits, which is like plain vanilla biscuits. And he was really wanting one. I was like, okay, yeah, you can have one. So he took one out, and then he was going, more. I was like, no, one is enough. More. And I was like, okay, fine, have another one. He didn't eat the other one. He took it and straight away ran and gave it to his brother. He really wanted to give his brother the gift of a biscuit too. So it's really cool seeing at 1.5, the love language of gifts really showing out. So that's just one or a few examples of how he's showing gifts. So through reading the book, one thing that really resonated with me was that the English word gift comes from the Greek word charis, which means grace, an undeserved gift. If a gift is deserved, then it's payment. But a true gift is given freely with love, not as a reward for behaviour or anything else. Now for me, I'm not a gifts person. Love languages, I may have mentioned at the start, gifts is right down the bottom for me and my husband. So when we're around gifty people, we really need to make an effort. And I really don't like gifts when it's just given for gift's sake. So sometimes I find birthdays really hard when you haven't seen someone for ages, then you're expected to give them a present. You're like, don't even know what you're into, what you have. Or if the gift then reflects the interest of the giver rather than the receiver. So sometimes I find that I get something, I'm like, cool, this is what you're really into, but it's nothing to do with me. And unfortunately, in today's world, not all gift giving is so sincere. Sometimes gifts become bribes. If you clean your room, I'll buy you a toy. If you finish your dinner, I'll give you an ice cream. That's not the love language of gifts. That's a transaction. For a child who truly thrives on receiving gifts, what matters is the meaning behind it. A gift should come with another love language, like words of affirmation. So you're like, I saw this and I thought of you. Or maybe quality time. I saw this and I thought we could play with it together. And let's not forget, there's also this emotional thrill of unwrapping gifts. For me, I've learned a lot about gifts since having more friends that are gifty and also having kids and realizing that all the love languages are what they speak, but gifts are really important to kids no matter what, and they just might lean into more of gifts as a love language as they're older, but every kid, like the other love languages, need little snippets of them all. Even the simplest treasures can feel extra special when they're wrapped up. And this might be how your child gives you love. So we've talked a lot about how our child can feel loved by us, but also how are they showing love to us? For our kids, there might not be a lot that they own, and what they own they might hold really preciously. So when you get things like a flower while out on a walk, or a special rock, or a picture from daycare, that could be the way they're gifting to you. And so how we receive it is very important. Now, let's look at how we can connect the love language of gifts and play schemas. So here are the 10 top play schemas with some real life examples and how you can use thoughtful gifts to support them. And with each one, have a think yourself about how you would incorporate at least one other love language. So I'll give you a couple of ideas to start with, but then it's up to you. I'm going to start with trajectory, as I usually do, which is the movement and motion schema. Children who love throwing, dropping, running, or watching objects move. So the first gift idea could be a silk scarf or a ribbon or wand, which is great for watching movement in the air. So you've got the schema of trajectory. You could link it with other schemas like rotation, having it going round in circles. And then you could link it also with another love language of quality time. So even that, you've got 2 schemas, 2 love languages, you're hitting a lot of bases. You can also do this with multiple kids. So a lot of these I'm kind of talking one-on-one, but if you've got a couple of kids together, you can see how you can divide the love languages and divide the schemas and also merge them back together so you're filling everyone's tank. Another gift you could do is a small ball run or some rolling toys, which encourages experimenting with motion. So if you don't already have some small balls in your kit, definitely a really good gift to give. One I've recently added is pom-poms because they're nice and light. You can easily take them anywhere, but they do not break anything. They do not throw very far, so it's a great one to have. Okay, the next schema, transportation. That's moving objects, children who love filling bags, pushing trolleys, or moving things from place to place. So a gift idea could be a mini shopping trolley or wheelbarrow so they can transport things with purpose. Another gift idea could be an old purse of your own. If you've got an old purse or bag or something that you're no longer using, if they've seen you using it before, it will be extra special. So have a think about that. You could also give them a set of small baskets or boxes, turning anything into a transportation adventure. Okay, number 3 is that rotation schema. Spinning, twisting. They're children who love spinning wheels, rolling objects, or turning in circles themselves. So you could give them a wind-up toy or a spinning top, something that could be small and meaningful or endlessly fascinating. Now, I'm personally a big fan of secondhand shopping. Whether you call it op shopping or thrift shopping or secondhand shopping, having a look there for things that you can gift for birthdays, for other events. And something you could get there is a lazy Susan or a revolving tray, which is perfect for spinning toys, food, or if it's strong enough, even themselves. Okay, number 4 is orientation, which is seeing things from different angles. This is when children love hanging upside down, peeking through gaps, or climbing to see different perspectives. So number 1 for a gift idea is a magnifying glass or a periscope. Both of these are so much fun for exploring new viewpoints. Another one, if they're a little bit older, is a folding step stool so they can safely change their perspective. We've got a little step stool that lives in our pantry, which is for getting up just to see that top shelf. Even though I'm quite tall, sometimes you need a little bit of help. Sometimes when we leave it out, the kids absolutely love being able to move it around and see a little bit higher. So that is really awesome. Another one, which I've just thought of, is a kitchen helper, which I've talked about it before. Again, I can show a picture, but it's just a step that goes up to the kitchen bench. And so your children can be able to look up and just see actually what's happening. If you have a go at looking at your life from their angle, it can be really hard. So you can see why they want to be carried or up higher. So having a go at getting a kitchen helper as a present will mean they can join you so much easier and they can choose themselves to be able to jump up and see what's going on. Okay, number 5, positioning, which is the lining up and arranging of objects. Children who love organising, sorting, or making patterns are working through the schema. So gift ideas is a set of loose parts. It could be a collection of buttons or pebbles or shells, could be beads, there could be endless arranging possibilities. Another one, secondhand puzzle, which encourages precision and order. And secondhand puzzles are great at this age. I'm not sure about the op shopping and secondhand shopping around your place, but for me, there's always like a little tag on the front saying it's been checked. Look for that so you don't buy a puzzle with missing parts because that could be frustrating to no end. But getting secondhand puzzles is really great because especially in the younger years, they move through the abilities of puzzles really fast. They go from those big wooden bits where you just have maybe 2 or 3 bits in a puzzle to maybe a 300-piece puzzle. So you can easily give them back to the secondhand shop and get something new. Number 6 is the connection one, joining things together. Children who are in this schema love building, linking, or attaching objects. So a gift idea could be Velcro, which is a really exciting way to connect and disconnect things. They can use it really easily. Or on that same thread, string, for example. I've recently given my older boy a ball of string. If you've seen on Instagram recently, I showed how he had tied up our laundry basket with random bits of string we had at home. But those were all strings that we either needed for things or part of toys. So I've given him his own ball of string, which he's allowed to cut up and do what he wants with it. And oh my goodness, the look on his face. So string, great, simple, very cheap play toy. But with string and any ropes, they do need to be used with supervision. So be very careful with how they're being used and teach your rules around them first. Another one is a simple construction toy like Lego or magnetic tiles, and secondhand is great. I definitely recommend looking for secondhand. So after connection, you know what is coming. It is disconnection. So this is taking things apart. Children who love breaking things apart and undoing or dismantling objects. So what you could do with some gift ideas is maybe an old gadget or clock or something that they can safely take apart. Do it with them, and this is their curiosity unleashed and some great quality time as well. Or a set of pop beads. Don't know if you've seen them, but they're beads that kind of easily pop together and apart. So they're designed to be pulled apart and reconnected, which means you can use them again and again and again. With this, and same as some of the small parts, you've got to be really careful if you've got young ones around. One way that we combat this is that nap time play. There's certain things we only do during nap time. Now we're up to number 8, which is transformation. But if you're new to schemas and you're thinking, whoa, there are so many schemas, don't worry, I've got a free cheat sheet. So if you head to playschemas.com/free, you'll see all my free resources there. So if you're thinking, this is something I want to learn about, but this is too much, have a look there. Or actually on the blog as well, which is at playschemas.com, and you can find the blog there. I'll have all of this information so you're not having to write it down or really retain it. Okay, number 8, transformation, which is changing one thing into another. This is for children who love mixing, squashing, or making very interesting mixtures together. Because mixed ingredients is a perfect transformation activity. So it could be something as simple as giving them their own whisk and spatula, or it could be a cake in a box or the raw ingredients that you all put together as some fun time together. Or maybe a pack of bath bombs, where you can watch them fizz, which can be an absolute sensory delight. Okay, we're getting near the end. Number 9 is enclosure, which is creating boundaries and spaces. Children who love building forts, enclosing toys, or playing in small spaces are working through this schema. So gift ideas, I mentioned this in last week's podcast, a large cardboard box. You can't really go wrong with a large cardboard box. It is an instant hideaway. You can use it as a straight box, or you can cut into it to make doors and windows. You can play with it for one day or weeks on end, and it might end up in the recycling bin all mushed, but that is fine. A large cardboard box is a great toy. You could also get them a set of play silks or sheet. Perfect for draping over and enclosing spaces. And if they've got their own sheets, it means they're stopping pulling out the blankets or pulling out the sheets for your cupboards. You've got their ones, they've got something that they own, it's a special gift, but it also means they're not pulling out your laundry cupboard. Okay, number 10, enveloping, which is the wrapping and covering schema. They love wrapping things up, dressing in layers, or covering objects. You can get some mini fabric that they can use for wrapping. So again, even a great big sheet that you've cut up, you can use them for gifting their own treasures, and they can use them again and again. Enveloping is also about wrapping themselves up, which kind of can also go with the transformation schema. So you can get them a dress-up cape or a big oversized scarf, perfect for them wrapping themselves up, but they could also transform into something else. So those are the 10 schemas and how you can incorporate gifts with them. Now, when you understand your child's play schemas, you can transform how they develop. And then when you put gifts alongside their natural play tendencies, you're not just giving them an object, you're giving them an opportunity to explore and learn in a way that feels deeply fulfilling and love to them. But remember, parents should never replace presents with presents. They shouldn't replace presents, being with your child, with presents, things you give them. It's very easy to buy a toy, but far harder to be emotionally involved. A gift, no matter how perfect, only communicates love when it's paired with another love language. So quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, or acts of service, which we'll get to soon, making sure you're giving your presents one of those other love languages, as well as the present of gifts. Now, if you loved today's episode and want more play inspiration, as I've said, follow me on Instagram or head to playschemas.com for the show notes and any free resources. Until next time, we've had a whirlwind today. I'm looking forward to the next one, which is the last love language in the series, which is very cool. But remember, today is a great day to play, and I would love to hear about your playtime stories, so let me know how it's going in your house. See ya!